Hi everyone, I'm Hindi and I started Great Paws and All. And today I wanted to talk to you about 13 ways to make your home senior dog friendly. Now, that making your home easy for your dog to access will greatly improve his quality of life. Now, I've been sharing my life with senior dogs since 2009, so I had no idea what I was doing when I first started, obviously. But over the years, I've learned quite a few things, tips and tricks that will help. And as each dog had a different issue I had to deal with, I learned how to make that dog more comfortable with the issues that he or she was dealing with. So I'm going to leave a link to the article I wrote about it down below in the description box, and there's way more detail there, but here I'll just give you the basics. Sorry, I'm just going to check my notes so I don't forget anything. The first thing I would say is remove any tripping hazards, and this is especially true if your dog has mobility issues, and especially if they have vision problems or are blind, as two of my dogs were. So, even the slightest thing on the floor, even just like a cord that you think, oh, they can step over it, especially if you have a little dog with teeny little legs, like one of mine was. Actually, all of them were. It's definitely safer if you have nothing on the floor. Even if you think it's not a big deal, it could be a big deal to them. So just be careful with that. The next thing I'm going to say, pet stairs and ramps are very, very helpful. I mean, yes, if you have a small dog, you could pick them up, but then they have no way to get off if you're not around, although obviously you should be supervising them. But they, in a split second, they just jump off the bed. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. So I ordered pet steps actually, and they were so flimsy. Even after all the research I did, I decided to go the DIY route. And I literally just took one of those plastic storage boxes that I had clothes in, put it next to my side of the bed. I put a blanket over it, and my dog used that as a step, and it was fine. And ramps can you have ramps that go along the side of the bed so they can get on and off easier. I'm just going to raise this a bit. Sorry. They can get on and off easier, and it's also helpful to get in and out of the car. Ramps in the living room are a different issue. It depends. You could put it sideways, but also think about the floor space that it takes up. It takes a lot more than steps, but just keep that in mind. And also be aware of the incline, because if it's too steep, it'll be hard for your dog to get the traction and to go up and down. Next, be mindful of the temperature. Older dogs tend to feel the cold a lot more than younger ones. So it may be comfortable for you, but it may be a little too cold or hot for your senior dog. So I've had fans going, I've had um, like electric heaters going, even if the central heating was on, or if you, especially if you prefer your room at different temperatures, just make sure your dog has either a heater or some kind of fan close enough to him so that he could still be comfortable, and make sure the bed is not over one of those vents. Sorry if these things are obvious, but there are people that are first time senior dog parents, and they're helpful tips. Next is elevating food and water bowls. Now, you may find your dog struggling to reach because they have to bend down so far. So elevating them can make a big difference. I did that for my dogs. I have little dogs always, and I would turn a casserole dish upside down, put their bowl on top of it, and it made it a lot easier to reach. You can, so I just went again, I did the DIY thing, but you can buy adjustable feeders on, Amazon and other pet supply stores and they're also, some of them are adjustable. One word of caution, especially when it comes to bigger dogs, be careful of how high you raise them, because that could cause bloat, which twists their stomach, and it could be very deadly. So be careful, do your research about that, and speak to your vet. Next, um, cover doors, the door frames, well, the edges of the door, and you can also cover furniture legs like table legs, chair legs. I did that with, they look like pool noodles, but they're smaller. They're pipe insulation. Cut them that way and just wrap it around, and that is fantastic for a blind dog or one that has trouble seeing, because if they do bump into it, it'll soften the blow. Next is slippery floors. Dogs with mobility issues can have a lot of trouble getting traction on slippery floors. And I know you love the floors as they are, but covering them with yoga mats or interlocking foam or rubber mats or like pretty rugs, just something that can help your dog get traction, because they can have trouble getting up and they could really hurt themselves. So just be mindful of that. Setting up a quiet area is also important. As dogs get older, some of them, it's not a given, but some just need their private space, especially if you have a busy household, kids running around. It could be annoying for them. So by all means, keep the beds in where all the family is. They shouldn't be isolated, but give them a little quiet area to escape to when they need it. It could be a crate in the corner with the door left open and cover part of it so they have a little den to go to. Or you could even have a closet, open the closet door and make a little den for them in there. Don't force them to go in it, but show them so they know that's an option for when they just need a break. Okay. This beds and water bowls, set them up in more than one area, because if your dog is just, again, mobility issues or suffering from dementia and they're confused, having beds in more than one place means they don't have to walk too far, and there's always the opportunity for them to have a quick drink, because you don't want them to get dehydrated, and a nice place to rest. Quick note about beds: your dog's like your dog could have had a favorite bed for years, and then all of a sudden he won't go in it because, it changes. Maybe it's not as comfortable. Maybe they're just not in the mood. So a variety works best. One of my dogs absolutely loved a human comforter. So I had an old comforter, put a cover on it, and it was thick enough it gave her support, but fluffy enough she can, scrunch it up to make her, to make it into the style that she wanted, and she loved it. Um, Baby gates, important if you have steps. He may have been running up and down the stairs for years, but if he's slowing down, or again, like have some vision issues or a little bit of confusion, keep them safe by putting gates at the top and bottom of the stairs. Pee pads, the greatest, aside from the stroller, the greatest invention I've ever had. When when one of my dogs, Red, developed dementia, she would just forget and pee in the house. So a very unattractive look for sure, but I covered the floors in pee pads. What can I do? I also rescued a puppy mill dog who had no idea. She was terrified of everything, too scared to go out for. So at the beginning, pee pads, pee on them. It doesn't matter. It saves your carpet. It's less stressful for you. Again, not the best look, but what can you do? If they need to pee, they need to pee. Don't move things around. Very, very important if you have a blind dog, because they know where they're going. They get the lay of the land. And if you start moving furniture because you're in the mood, my mother used to do that all the time. Um, she didn't have a dog though, but don't do it. If you want to spruce up your place, get some new pillows. But in terms of where things are, leave them. And for example, if you've taken their bed to wash, at least put a blanket there, because they know where their bed should be. And if there's nothing there, they can get confused. Okay, last tip: put nightlights around the house. I have never done that personally, but I know a lot of people in my Senior Dog Care Club Facebook group have done that, especially if, again, if their dog is a little bit confused, anxious, has some vision issues. It really helps them find their way around the house, and it does help with their stress level. Anyway, I hope you found these tips helpful. Again, I'm going to leave the link to the article in the description. So please leave your comments below. What do you do, or what have you done to make your home more senior dog friendly? Sharing helps others. So we're all here together. We're all in it together. I'm building a wonderful community. And if you want more, if you want a community on Facebook, I will again put a link to that. Join my Facebook group, Senior Dog Care Club. Well, you'll find all the support you need. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely day, everybody.